Good morning, my name's Pablo Sultana and I'm here at Babbs Mill Local Nature Reserve here in Kingshurst on the edge of Chelmsley Wood, Castle Bromwich, Shard End and it's obviously in North Solihull. Now the Active Wellbeing Society has asked me to produce a little video really and talk a little bit about Babbs Mill Nature Reserve and also about Clean and Green, an organisation that I actually set up about 2 years ago now, and the organisation Clean and Green really is a voluntary community group put together really to join together and support all the local community groups that were already in the North Solihull area, doing some great stuff in terms of looking after the local environment and involving the community and getting them to actually appreciate and use these wonderful green spaces that we have around us. What I'm going to do is we're going to start walking round a route where a lot of walkers and runners actually walk, and where I regularly, together with volunteers, regularly walk around and litter pick and plant little trees and bulbs and stuff. And at the same time, hopefully it will encourage you to get out and use this beautiful little green oasis in the middle of perhaps one of Solihull's most deprived and misunderstood areas really. If you look in the background, you'll just see over here, you'll see the railings of Kingshurst council allotments. Now the parish council actually runs these allotments, but there's a large section of it that's been given over to the community. That had become overrun and overgrown and misused, and this year, together with Active Wellbeing Society, the local parish council, Kingshurst Parish Council, of which I'm a local councillor, and a load of really great enthusiastic community volunteers, we actually got together and actually redeveloped the community gardens over there and actually turned it into a neglected patch of ground into a wonderful area where lots of trees, plants and shrubs were already grown, but we've actually grown loads of vegetables which actually fed the community in a time of real need during the COVID lockdown. Now if you just look over here, I'll turn the camera away, and if you have a look, we've got the basketball or five-a-side football area there. We've got a wonderful outdoor gym area there. That's Cook's Lane, Kingshurst, by the way. And you can see the wonderful autumn colours of the trees and shrubs around here. Now, as we start walking, we're walking away from the car park, and as I walk, we'll just get an idea of how wonderful Babbs Mill Local Nature Reserve is. Obviously it's a public park, and Birmingham and Solihull are blessed with some fantastic open spaces and green spaces, of which this is, I think, one of the best. I've got to say that because I live very locally to it and have worked hard to look after it. As we walk along here, let me tell you a little bit about Clean and Green. Now, as I say, it's a local community group set up for the benefit of the local community and to encourage local groups to do litter picking, planting, wildlife exercises, bird spotting, bat walks, planting trees, planting bulbs, and encouraging people to actually get out and use the spaces. As you see, things like cyclists use the area very regularly, and you can actually see there's a wonderful here we're just coming to a lovely reed bed that was put in by Solihull Council to actually benefit the wildlife, but at the same time to clean up sort of a smelly, sort of polluted part of the River Cole. Coming back to Clean and Green, let me tell you about a couple of the groups, some of the groups and organisations that make up Clean and Green. There's Kingshurst Litter Pickers, there's Castle Bromwich litter pickers get involved with us as well quite regularly. There's Smith's Wood Litter Pickers, Chelmsley Wood Litter Pickers, and all of these groups actually run a regular litter pick across North Solihull. Generally speaking, and obviously before lockdown, would do a litter pick probably at least every month, all of these groups. And what Clean and Green does is bring those the groups together with another group from Solihull called Talking Rubbish in Solihull, and we actually get each other talking, we get each other helping out on different litter picks. Every year we'll have like an annual group litter pick somewhere across Solihull, in the north or south of Solihull, and it's a great social event as well. And that's something I wanted to talk about, is the social aspect of getting out in the outdoors. Obviously, look at it, it's a beautiful, even though it's quite an overcast day, it's a beautiful place to come out. Yeah, we'll just walk down here. To come out and explore local wildlife. And at a time when, with COVID, we're all feeling quite locked down, vulnerable, isolated, it's just wonderful to come out to places like this, listen to the birds singing, look at the nature, the trees, the wildlife, the flowers, the plants, the bulbs, the sound of running water. And of course, it's great for your physical well-being, but at the same time, it's also fantastic for your mental well-being, particularly at a time when we're all suffering. It's been medically proven that to get out here in green spaces actually releases endorphins and feel-good hormones and actually helps your mental health. So I'm getting fit at the same time, but I'm also getting a nice dose of vitamin D from the very subdued sun, but also I'm getting a fantastic sense of well-being, because actually we talk about the community and we're all very quick to moan about how bad people are and how bad society is, and yeah, we do have litter problems around North Solihull, as we do all over the country. We do have vandalism, we do have antisocial behaviours, people riding bikes and stuff, motorcycles off-road and stuff. But one thing that I've learned is actually when we're out here and litter picking, or we're getting trolleys and stuff out of the river coal that's been dumped in there, we actually get to talk to a lot of people. And the great thing about that is you find out actually how nice people are generally, and how many lovely, caring and kind people there are out there. The problem with antisocial behaviour like littering and graffiti and stuff is generally it's carried out by a very small proportion of the community. But the problem is it does affect a large number of people, and so it gives an adverse picture, and people think that it's a really major problem. But there are far more, what I'm trying to say, there's far more lovely, nice, kind people out there that care about the environment, care about their communities, than actually damage it. I mean, look, this is a great example. A lovely little dog just come up to you. People are dog walking around here. They're mountain biking, they're running, they're sometimes fishing. I'm not sure whether they're supposed to be fishing, but they're running, they're walking, they're spotting nature. They're actually enjoying themselves and enjoying the nature around them. So it's a wonderful place to come and actually be at one with nature. And the other thing I was going to say about, particularly about the litter picking groups, the thing about litter picking is that absolutely anyone can do it. And by that I mean anyone that can actually get out and physically do it. And it's a fantastic activity, because of course you're doing some great for the local environment, but a lot of people that do it for the social aspect. We have good fun, we have a laugh and a joke whilst we're doing it. We take great care of each other and ourselves as we're doing it, and we actually we've joined up socially as well, and we do have people that are virtually housebound that come out to join us on litter picking, and that's really the only time they get out in often. We've had people say that litter picking and their groups have actually really helped them to socialise and enjoy life again. We have people that are retired or lost their partners. We have people that with physical and mental health issues that come out and can join with nice, I don't know whether you can see, but there's a heron there just fishing on the riverbank. Hopefully you can see him. Should be just in shot there. You probably guessed, but I'm not a trained videographer or cameraman, but I'll try and keep on him. Yeah, people come out on their mobility scooters, people come out with their carers or their friends, and we have a fantastic social activity time, and we take the mickey out of each other, we have a moan, we let off steam, and we just generally have a really good time. There, isn't that a wonderful view of a heron stalking his prey? Talking of that gives us a nice opportunity to talk about, this is I think a walking group behind us, which I'll just feature in very quickly. I don't want to identify anyone, but it isn't talking about nature. Some of the nature that we found around here have included things like egrets. We've had all kinds of wildfowl and ducks, and we've had all kinds of mammals. We have foxes, we have lots, we regularly see rabbits, we see hares, we see all kinds of birds. We've had some rare spotted birds over here, and we work with some organisations that actually really expert at these kind of things, and we do regular free talks and walks to try and encourage people to use these areas more. What I was going to say, bat walks as well. We do some bat walks around here, and the West Midlands Bat Association actually discovered that we had far more varieties of bats than was thought was possible in the inner city, and that was fantastic. I don't know whether you can hear and see over there the screeching sound. If you can hear, is from some Indian ringneck parakeets that we seem to have a massive population has grown over Shard Park, which is just over the way from where we're walking now, and around Babbs Mill, and they roost every night on the lake just over here, and we reckon they've got upwards of 200-300 roosting every night. And believe me, if you get a chance, come down to Shard End by the boating lake, by the Naval Cadets base. If you come there at nightfall, just as it's getting dusky, you'll hear first the screeching, and you'll see hundreds of these birds, beautiful tropical birds, coming down, bright green, lovely red patterns and bill to them, and you'll see them coming down and roosting up safely on the islands, on the trees of the islands. If you look here, you'll see obviously some works going on. Now, this is a good opportunity to talk about some of the love and care that we're getting from the community around here. This is works carried out by Solihull Council and their contractors on behalf of something called Wildlife Ways Project, which is a fantastic initiative, and it's done through European funding as well, to actually encourage to open up green spaces into the grey areas, so the urban areas. So what they're doing, they're widening paths and encouraging walkers and cyclists to share the space safely and more actively. And as you see, we're walking over here. There's this in the summer is a beautiful wildflower meadow, and there's just the remnants of some of the plant life here. But trust me, in the summer, this area becomes just a gorgeous place to be, and people come picnicking around here, and obviously walking their dogs all year round, cycling and running around here all year round, and it's truly tremendous. Really is a lovely place. I spoke a moment ago about Solihull Metropolitan Borough Council. Now, they support the community around here very well. I've got to say, not because I'm employed or paid by them, I'm not at all, but we're very fortunate because Solihull have a team in the People and Places Department, Directorate. They have a team called Love Solihull, and they supply all the volunteers that do this great work in the community and look after these places. Love Solihull actually supplies us as volunteers a lot of support, a lot of guidance, professional expertise, and for instance, they'll provide us with litter picking sticks, which are quite expensive, the hoops, the bags in which to collect them. They'll arrange for the collection and disposal of the litter and the fly tipping that we report, and make sure also that we do these jobs quite safely, so they help us with risk assessments and stuff. But if you look just over here now, there's Babbs Mill Lake. It's an artificial lake, and it was created, I think, in the 40s or 50s. It was, I think it was basically a gravel pit, and actually it was artificially designed to actually soak up the excess water and prevent flooding from the River Cole, which is just adjacent. If you can just see over the side of the thing, in which, if I hurry up, we'll get enough time to film, and you'll see the River Cole over on the side. Obviously, the River Cole was where we just saw the heron standing guard searching. So we're coming now to what we call the Boatyard car park, and this is you see here there's a little mini skate park for the kids, which is used quite regularly, to be honest, and by kids young and old, including my adult son, who does a bit of skateboarding and certainly on his mountain bike doing practices and jumps and stuff. But look, isn't this a wonderful place to be? And again, talking about the benefits of being outdoors in a place like this, I can't stress enough the value to your mental health and well-being of a place like this. I work in my day job in a very stressful environment. I'm constantly on the phone and emailing and that. So what better antidote for me than to come out here and to enjoy these fantastic sights, sounds, and even smells. It's just gorgeous. Some people jogging over here, and you'll see that there's the gulls lining up ready to steal the bread and then the pigeons on the back row waiting for the last scraps. So try not to disturb them too much. But you'll see over here, I'm sure we'll see if we're looking, over the far bank, which we're going to walk around and try and do a loop of that, there's a swan family, and they had a clutch of 6 eggs this year, and every few days when we come over here we'd go out and check and see the development of these cygnets, the baby swans. And I'm really delighted to say that this year, for the first year that I can remember, the full clutch of eggs have actually turned and grown up into, they're virtually ready to turn to adults. I'm just going to go from a positive to a negative now, and just look here. You can see there's been fly tipping over here. I'll be reporting that into Solihull Council shortly, so that hopefully they can come and get their contractors to come and pick the litter. You see the building works going on, and this is a bit of a storage yard for some of the fantastic work that they're doing around here. And we're coming up now to the middle of the lake, where you'll see some lovely benches, a little picnic area where people generally congregate and socialise, and hopefully just look over here, you'll see the swans and the cygnet family that I spoke about earlier. Just in the distance and in the other side of the lake. And look at this, almost as if we'd set it up. Here's the new path that Solihull and Wildlife Ways have done, and it's ideal for running and cycling, and people pushing strollers and buggies, people on wheelchairs and stuff. And as you can see, the people there sitting down, even on a day like this, having a nice chat, maybe having a social catch-up or a lunch break or something, and enjoying this fantastic view, and also the peace and quiet, and also the safety of this kind of place. That looks like a nice little get-together. Do you mind if I video you just for a YouTube video that we're doing about the area? No, okay then. But enjoy your lunch any case. Thank you. Thanks. And you see here, you'll see they didn't want to be filmed because they're having a little drink as well, but just a glass of wine. They've even got little wine glasses, which is lovely. A bag here of litter that I picked yesterday and waiting for a collection from the council, which generally should be later on today, I would imagine. And again, see the bikes coming along. We've got the reeds. Hi mate. It really is a lovely place to come. Everyone's friendly and kind to each other, and I'm sure it's the same in parks all over the place. As long as you keep an open mind, you take safety precautions. Obviously we do have antisocial behaviour, as I've said, but obviously you keep away from it and you try and actually that brings me to a good point. Since we've been doing this, which is over 2 years we've been doing this place here, and we've actually found that, yeah, there was a lot of bad people in terms of antisocial behaviour and stuff. There was a lot of fear in the community. People were not using this park purely because, you know, it had a reputation. But because kind, nice people have come into the area, they use it, there's lots of people about, there's less opportunities for people to damage, to vandalise, to spray paint, to set fire to places. So it really shows what communities can do as long as they get out there and they're active in the communities. There's some more bags of rubbish that we picked just the other day. Just sneak through there. Do you mind? Thank you. It's alright, I didn't want to get you on camera just in case you didn't want to be filmed. And here's some more runners there in the distance. And look, down here actually, this is like, they used to call this the Smelly Brook, but because it's been cleaned up and it's actually been filtered by reed beds, it's actually a very pleasant area. And we've seen some fairly rare and uncommon visitors this year alone to this area. And in that brook itself that I said, we spotted a water rail, which is a very difficult to spot, very shy water bird, so it's fantastic. Now here we're down at the big main tip, the one end of Babbs Mill Lake, and again, sorry my filming is pretty atrocious, but hopefully you get the idea. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful, full of wildlife and birds. Now come over here, we have foraging walks around here, often run by an organisation that's part of Clean and Green called Tribal, and they're based Chelmsley Wood, B37 area, and they arrange some fantastic foraging walks where we've actually gone round and learnt from experts about all the trees, the plants, the wildlife, and certainly about the plants that you can eat, use for medicinal or foraging purposes. In fact, it actually encouraged me this year to come out with my daughter, and we picked about 2 kilos of sloes, which are the fruits of blackthorn trees, and we picked these, and we've actually made a nice big supply of sloe gin, which should be ready in a few months. And so it's Babbs Mill's nature's little harvest for us, and I'm sure my family will enjoy a bit of sloe gin. and it's all completely organic, natural, and no food miles. Obviously you have to add normal gin to it, I've got to say, it's not that perfect. We're just walking up now to Babbs Mill, which of course is where Babbs Mill Local Nature Reserve gets its name. And this is a lovely old building, and it's full of history which I haven't got time to tell you about, but you can look it up. A fantastic place. And here we come past the lake, we're coming to the River Cole, where it comes into the lake area, and River Cole. And again, fish you see in here, you're regularly getting people fishing here. We've even had brown and rainbow trout in the River Cole down here. Obviously rudd, perch, there's carp in the lake. So there's all kinds of fish. Obviously loaches, I remember as a child actually coming down here and this exact spot and catching stone loaches and bull's heads and sticklebacks, minnows. So it's a fantastic place. So I'm running out of time really, because I should be around the other side and towards the car park back again by now. But whilst we're doing that, I just want to talk a little bit about the groups that are involved with Clean and Green, and just give some name checks to them. There's Action for Babbs Mill, which was really set up as a Friends of Babbs Mill to actually look after this park, this lovely natural area. Kingshurst Litter Pickers that meet every month, obviously when we haven't got a lockdown, and they meet every month from the Kingshurst Library. And then there's there's Castle Bromwich Litter Pickers who meet every Monday. Marston Green Litter Pickers that we haven't had a lot of contact with, but again I'd like to give them a name check. There's Chelmsley Wood Litter Pickers, which is part of Clean and Green, that normally meets by the Big Asda at Chelmsley Wood on a monthly basis from the grounds, and with the great support of the Chelmsley Wood Citizens Advice Bureau. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. I've mentioned Tribal, but there's also another organisation called B37 who do some fantastic art stroke environmental crossover work and some really interesting projects in getting people outdoors to enjoy these great assets that we've got here. Now as we come over here, I just want to mention as well, there's over here, this is a prime spot where we regularly see a kingfisher, normally on one of these overhanging branches. And so you wouldn't think in the middle of deepest Birmingham or Solihull you'd have such fantastic creatures and sights. But so I'm just checking to see if there's some other things I wanted to say before my time runs out. Oh, talking about physical well-being, yes, of course, this is a fantastic opportunity for us to get out and cycle, walk and that, and certainly since the lockdown. And even with the most stringent of lockdowns, everyone can get out and walk somewhere. So why not come to one of these fantastic places? Why not perhaps do what we do and combine your walk with something even more purposeful and useful? Have a litter picker with you and pick up some rubbish as you're coming along. If you do want to get in touch or speak to us about anything that we've spoken about today, I'd love to get some comments, or you to contact me either directly or via the Active Wellbeing Society. So please consider getting out, and either on your own like this, obviously at the moment we're limited to mixing with people, but getting out with the groups. Log into Clean and Green on Facebook, where I'll point you in the right direction and you'll hear about all the activities once we're safe to restart them again. And get in touch with us. If not, get in touch with the Active Wellbeing Society, who again are doing some fantastic daily things to get us out and enjoy what we're doing and get ourselves fit. also, in December, hopefully post-lockdown, together, Clean and Green, together with the Active Wellbeing Society, are planning to do a big joined up litter pick across the whole of North Solihull. So we're going to be covering Chelmsley Wood, Kingshurst, Ford Bridge, Smiths Wood, and there'll be so many different groups coming around. Obviously you probably still have to be socially distanced at the time, and obviously we can only do that when we've got the clearance to go ahead to do that safely. But that's something to bear in mind, and again you'll find out about if you register on Facebook with Clean and Green. If not, Kingshurst Litter Pickers has a Facebook group. In fact, all those organisations have a Facebook group. If not, contact me on my personal email, which is Pablo Sultana, that's PabloSultana @yahoo.co.uk, and even whatever area you're from, if you're nowhere near us in North Solihull and you want to be pointed in the right direction of a similar organisation over the other side of the city, Birmingham, whatever, Coventry, Wolverhampton, give me a shout, because I've got good contacts where I'll put you in touch with the right people. And with that, I think I'm really going to have to cut off now, because we're just on 30 minutes and I think my memory's going to run out on my phone. But I'm going to carry on with my walk now. But stay safe out there, stay positive, look after yourselves and look after your loved ones. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.